Hello. I hope you have a great day. In a world where eternal youth seems within reach through surgery, an actress desperate to regain her lost glow will discover that beauty comes at a much higher price than she ever imagined. So today we'll see Shell. The story begins with actress Gina Gennaro screaming in pain. She's talking desperately on the phone with someone saying, "I can't tell anyone." Strange large black lumps have appeared on her leg, and she tries to cut them off herself. Suddenly, her dog starts barking. It seems someone has entered her house. A mysterious man murders Gina. Shortly afterward, news begins to spread about her disappearance. The scene shifts to another actress, Samantha Lake, who is meeting with a director for a new role. The other participants at the audition are much younger and in better physical shape than her. Samantha meets a young woman named Chloe, who is also there for the audition. 10 years earlier, Samantha used to take care of Chloe when she was a child. Samantha enters the studio thinking she will only meet the director, but he isn't there. The casting staff asks her to perform an audition like the others. After the audition, Samantha returns home. She suffers from psoriasis and takes medication to control it. She sits in the bathtub and starts crying. She had secretly recorded the audio of the casting jury, where they said Samantha was 40 years old and that the studio wouldn't hire her. That's exactly what happens. She doesn't get the role. They even advise her to lose weight and try some of the rejuvenation treatments available on the market. One of the most popular is the Shell Clinic, specialized in such procedures. While walking, Samantha notes advertisements for Shell Clinic. Later, she asks her friend Lydia if she knows anything about the place, and Lydia replies that she has also heard about their treatments. Sometime later, Samantha goes on a date. The man recognizes her and says, "I've seen you somewhere." She used to be part of a very popular TV show, but when he realizes which one it was, he comments, "Yeah, that was a bad show." In the taxi, as they approach their destination, the man touches her and notices the lesions on her skin. As soon as he realizes her condition, he gets out of the car and leaves her alone. When Samantha gets home, she watches an interview with Zoe Shannon, the CEO of Shell. Zoe is 68 years old but looks incredibly young. The next day, Samantha goes to the clinic. Upon arrival, she is asked to sign a confidentiality agreement. The co-founder, Dr. Thaddeus Brand, explains that there are organisms on Earth that never age, such as jellyfish and lobsters, thanks to a special enzyme. The doctor claims to have created a genetically modified version of that enzyme to apply to human cells, capable of eliminating the signs of aging. As Samantha is about to begin her treatment, she sees Chloe there, which makes her hesitate and decide to leave. But a doctor named Dr. Hubert stops her and asks, "What happened? Why don't you want to go through with the procedure?" Samantha finds all of it unsettling. The doctor shows her photos of a patient with severe burns whose face healed completely after receiving the therapy. He says, "Our treatment heals the skin in an extraordinary way. It will also remove your psoriasis." Samantha asks if it's dangerous, and Hubert replies, "It's surgery. There are always some risks, but it's completely painless." He assures her that if she continues the treatment for the next 20 years, she will not age a single day. Samantha accepts. Soon after, she meets Chloe again, who tells her that she got the role from the previous audition, though she won't be able to do it because she's about to land the part of Catwoman. Samantha feels nervous about her procedure. Chloe reminds her of a moment from the past. "When I was little and you took me to swimming lessons, I was terrified, but you told me maybe I wasn't as scared as I thought. Even now, when I get nervous, I repeat that phrase to myself." She now says it back to Samantha to calm her. Samantha finally undergoes the treatment, receiving various types of laser therapies. When it's over, the doctor informs her that everything went well and that her psoriasis has disappeared. She can leave. Samantha is delighted with the results. She feels more confident and receives an invitation to Zoe Shannon's Christmas party. She now trains more energetically at the gym and feels stronger and more self-assured. That night, she arrives at the party and observes Zoe from afar. Zoe notices her and approaches, saying, "I wanted to meet you at the clinic." She tells Samantha that when her mother was sick, they used to watch her show together, and that she still looks exactly the same. Zoe mentions that the treatment also increases height a little, something Samantha didn't know. During dinner, Zoe pays her a lot of attention. When Samantha tastes the food, she discovers it's made from old human skin. Zoe says it's very rich in protein. Samantha, though uncomfortable, keeps eating. Later, she walks around Zoe's mansion and hears noises coming from a room. When she looks inside, she sees Zoe there, but Zoe catches her spying. Samantha says she must go feed her cat, but Zoe won't let her leave. "I remember the first month of treatment being the most fun of my life. Don't you feel the same?" Samantha says yes, but confesses she feels out of place, like she's always the girl with torn stockings or food stuck in her teeth. Zoe looks at her and says, "I don't see anything in your teeth. You need to get out of your own head, Samantha." She then suggests Samantha stay alone in a room and enjoy herself. 3 months later, Samantha looks even more beautiful and confident. She spends a lot of time with Zoe and they become close friends. Zoe constantly compliments her and reveals a secret. "My real last name isn't Shannon, it's Silt." Samantha laughs and replies, "Well, mine isn't my real name either." They both laugh, but one day Lydia notices a small black lump on Samantha's neck. Dr. Hubert removes it and says, "I'll have it analyzed, but there's nothing to worry about." He gives her some medicine and his phone number in case she needs anything. However, when Samantha leaves the clinic, she notices someone following her. When she gets home, 2 police officers arrive to talk to her. They ask about Chloe. She has disappeared. The police had spoken with Chloe's family, who confirmed that she and Samantha had recently been in contact. The officers tell Samantha that if Chloe calls her, she must inform them immediately. Samantha tells all this to Zoe, who replies, "Maybe they aren't even real cops. They could be competitors trying to scare my clients or extract information." But Samantha insists, "Please find out if Chloe is okay. It would make me feel better." Zoe promises to do it. Soon after, Samantha notices a black lump on her wrist. While showering, she sees more of them on her back. Suddenly, she hears something breaking in her house. When she goes to check, she finds spilled wine on the floor. Frightened, she realizes it was just her cats. Then the phone rings. It's Chloe. With a trembling voice, Chloe says, "Something's wrong with me. They're always watching." The next day, Samantha's itching worsens. The black lumps have now appeared on her legs. When she goes to work on her new role, she begins to feel sick and vomits a black liquid onto her co-star, also splashing a journalist who was present. Desperate, Samantha sits in front of her dressing room mirror. Zoe arrives to see her. Samantha shows her the lumps, and Zoe says, "We'll take care of it." She takes her away and brings her to her apartment. There, Samantha learns that Dr. Hubert has been fired. Worried, she asks about Chloe, and Zoe answers that she moved to Paris. When Zoe leaves the room, Samantha locks herself in the bathroom to call the police officers who had visited her. When she returns, Zoe confronts her and asks who she called. Samantha denies it, but Zoe insists on checking her phone. Nervous, Samantha says, "I want to go to the hospital." Then she asks, "Why are you keeping me here?" Zoe replies, "You need someone you can trust." But Samantha no longer trusts anyone. Zoe becomes furious and says, "This isn't right. You're not thinking about me at all. If you go out like this, what will happen to my stock and my brand?" Enraged, Samantha throws tea in her face and leaves. Her friend Lydia arrives to help her, and together they manage to escape, evading Zoe's driver. During the getaway, Samantha stops the car and decides to go alone to meet with the police. But when she hears them talking, she realizes they also work for Zoe. They tell her, "We can take you somewhere safe and fix everything. That's why we were also looking for Chloe." At that moment, Zoe's driver arrives. Pretending she needs to use the restroom, Samantha escapes the scene. One of the officers follows her, but she manages to flee in an automated taxi. The taxi only moves at 40 kilometers per hour, so the police could easily catch up with her. However, when they try to overtake, they crash into a truck. Samantha manages to swerve and escape. She heads straight to see Dr. Hubert and shows him the black lumps. The doctor says, "We don't have much time. We need to go to the clinic," but Sam replies, "Do it here." Hubert administers painkillers and prepares a chemical solution in the bathtub. He puts a breathing mask on her and immerses her in the liquid. Samantha screams in agony as her body reacts to the treatment. When she wakes up the next morning, all the lumps have disappeared. Hubert brings her breakfast and apologizes. "There were so many things I didn't know," he admits. However, when the doctor leaves, Samantha notices a medicine bottle with Chloe's name written on the label. When she asks about it, Hubert confesses that just like Samantha, Chloe had also come to him seeking help, and that during that time they started a relationship. "I still love her," he says softly, "even now that she's like this." Alarmed, Samantha asks what that means. If he did something to her, then she realizes Chloe must be right there in the same place. Samantha begins calling out her name. Hubert tries to stop her, but she attacks him with a knife. Eventually, Samantha finds Chloe locked inside a room. The moment she sees her, she is horrified. Chloe has been deformed by the treatment. When Samantha returns, she discovers that someone has stabbed Hubert in the back. She too is captured. When Samantha regains consciousness, she finds herself in front of Dr. Thaddeus Brand, founder of Shell and the company's lawyer. The lawyer tells her that Chloe is safe and being treated, reminding her that all possible side effects were already described in the confidentiality contract. But Samantha doesn't want to hear another word. She plans to leave and expose the company publicly. At that moment, Zoe walks in and says, "Do whatever you want, but what will happen to you afterward? Your career will be over. Your psoriasis will come back too." They offer her company shares and lifetime free treatment in exchange for her silence. Zoe tries to convince her, "Accept it, Sam. You have the chance to be a strong woman and reach your full potential." But Samantha looks at her and replies, "Why should I care whether I look amazing or not?" She finally understands that beauty isn't everything, that people like Zoe manipulate women to sustain their business, calling her by her real name, Zoe Silt. Samantha refuses the offer. Then Zoe orders them to bring in Chloe. Dr. Brand explains that in Chloe's case, the Lobster enzymes completely overtook her human cells. Chloe has fully transformed into a half-human, half-lobster creature, and they claim that the best thing for her is to remain in the clinic. But Chloe sees Samantha through the glass. Zoe believes the glass is unbreakable, yet Chloe smashes it with rage and escapes, killing Dr. Brand and the lawyer in the process. Samantha flees as Zoe chases after her. She finds Lydia locked in a cell and manages to free her. But just then, Zoe's driver appears, whom Chloe kills brutally. Samantha and Lydia run for their lives. Zoe, armed with an electric taser, searches for Samantha while screaming, "I'm the one who got you that movie role. No one else would have hired you after the treatment." At that instant, Samantha attacks her from behind, but suddenly Chloe bursts into the scene, advancing toward them. Zoe tries to hide inside a glass chamber for protection, but Chloe activates the laboratory's laser system. Zoe screams Samantha's name over and over as the beams pierce through her and her body burns to ashes inside the tube. Zoe dies right there. Sometime later, the story jumps forward. Samantha has returned to work as an actress. She publicly exposed the Shell company, revealing the truth to the world. Even so, the corporation continued operating and making profits. But now Samantha no longer worries about beauty standards. She still gets food stuck in her teeth sometimes, yet she has learned to accept herself as she is. And with that, my friends, the story comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed it.